Cindy Erics here with Erics Environmental Consulting, and we primarily do mold and moisture intrusion inspections and mold testing, indoor air quality. But our primary thrust is mold assessments on properties that have had water damage and need a mold remediation. So we write protocol reports just about every day of the week. And so today, what I'm bringing you is some training issues. When we show up to do a job at the at a remediation job to go clear it, there's a checklist we give every remediator to check off to make sure they've covered every item on the protocol. This particular job that I'm going to talk to you about, uh, they contacted us after reviewing the protocol saying that they thought it was a little overkill, which we required 4 feet from the floor of sheetrock removed based on significant amount of water damage that the property suffered. And usually you go 2 feet beyond the water damage to make sure if there's any mold present that you would get it in that 2 feet. But when the damage, you already know that the damage is above that first few inches from the floor, then it automatically is going to put it into like a 3 foot height if you go 2 feet beyond. So therefore, we'll frequently write 4 feet because that'll be sure to catch any of the damaged areas. And at the same time, it's much easier to put back a sheetrock wall in 4 foot segments instead of 3 foot segments because the sheet of drywall is 4 feet by 8 feet or 4 feet sometimes by 12 feet, but they're 4 feet wide. So it makes it really easier to put it back and it'll reduce the costs on the labor for cutting lots of sheetrock. So this is the title of my video today: mold remediation training required, mold protocol not followed, which is an unfortunate common occurrence. So this is a project where like I just stated, we called for 4 feet from the floor to be removed because the damage was significantly up from the floor and for the reasons I just explained. Now, had the 4 feet not been removed from the floor, they would have never necessarily noticed this damage. Now, if they're really good at what they do, they'll notice the damage and they'll keep cutting because that's what the protocol says, to keep cutting to 2 feet beyond any visible mold once the materials have been removed. So you never know exactly how far it's going to go until they start pulling off materials and removing 2 feet beyond. This wall here is obviously below a window, and you can see the OSB sheathing on the exterior of the house is really mold damaged. Some of it's decayed, like in this picture right here, decayed. Part of the protocol always says remove all the moldy materials, especially if they're sheetrock and any wood decay. So if that just been mold damage, it could have been scrubbed and then sealed really good. It might not have looked really good, but frequently you can seal it if the damage is really minor. In this case, the damage is not minor. It's very, very obvious that this should have been removed. It says so in the protocol, again, which it frequently gets ignored. Here's another picture. And here's another picture. So this picture here is of the return duct. When HVAC systems have to be remediated because of mold damage, you can never keep that duct board, that yellow stuff, the duct board. It's a really bad material. I don't know why they still use it. I would recommend that, and I'm not a licensed HVAC contractor, so I'm speaking out of school a little bit, but I am speaking from 33 and a half years of experience. And I would recommend that if you have brand new duct board like that, that you cover it with the adhesive foil faced insulation and seal it really good with like a metal tape. Metal tape is really good. Possibly Gorilla Tape might also do the same thing, but the metal HVAC tape would be good. And then the surfaces in the future, if they ever got real dusty or dirty, they could be wiped off. This cannot be wiped off, so it has to be replaced in every situation where you have visible mold. And you can kind of see some of the visible mold right here on it, right? He only pulled it back a little bit to see, but you can see it. So that was left in place, so there was mold left behind. And take a look at the finger. He wiped his finger on that, and that's what came off. So that's just simply not acceptable. Only hire well-trained and ethical mold remediators. That's our recommendation. And you could visit www.moldethics.com, which will bring you to our website that has a number of videos linked to the YouTube channel of Eric's Environmental Consulting. So I hope this helped you in some way to understand what you should expect from the mold remediation on your property. And if any mold remediator happens to see this, hopefully this will help them to understand what's required. We spell it out pretty well in black and white, but um, sometimes protocols aren't even read. But as a consumer, you should read them. As a site worker, you should read them. As the remediator in charge, you should read them and not just make assumptions. I know there's a lot of mold assessors out there that are clearing properties that leave damage behind like this. We don't want to leave any mold behind in someone's home or office or business so that occupants are exposed to mold. It's not the right thing to do. So I hope this is helpful to you, and I'll see you on the next one.